Let's bring in retired Lieutenant General Richard Newton to talk about it this morning. He's a former U.S. Air Force Assistant Vice Chief of Staff and newly named Senior National Security Contributor here at NewsNation. Good to see you. Thank you for being with us. Where's your read on this and U.S.-China relations as China bolsters its military spending?
Well, Marni, I certainly agree with your comments and excellent reporting by Allison, by the way, that underscores the fact that U.S.-China relations, I think, are really indeed at a low point. There's lots of challenges there. Most recently, obviously, the Chinese spy balloon, we had when they parked that thing over Montana for 3 days and so forth. But the global nature and the capability and the reach of China is ever expanding. And Allison reported that 7% increase in military funding is not just necessarily for troops and more blankets. That's to modernize their air, sea, land, and cyber forces and their nuclear forces at the strategic level. That should be very, very significant, point of reference for the U.S. as we move forward into what is beginning to be a fairly turbulent 2023.
Well, and then we're hearing of these cranes and another component to China trying to spy on U.S. ports. What do you make of that?
It's remarkable. It's almost breathtaking. Again, I mentioned the Chinese spy balloon. If you go back to 2019 under the Trump administration, the Huawei phone issue they had, with what was then the largest cell phone production maker, of cell phones is based in China. And so we tried to outlaw that. Now you've got these cranes, which could serve as a sensor post for Chinese surveillance and reconnaissance. So what's really happening also is really the global nature of espionage is increasing significantly. And these cranes are a good example of that. I mean, there's some cranes down here. I live down here in South Florida in Palm Beach County, but they're all over the United States and really all over the world. ZPMC is manufacturing these cranes, according to a report from the Wall Street Journal, and it states that they make 70% of these huge cranes, and they're dispatched over 100 nations. So it's concerning that it can be used as a method, a very keen method of surveilling not only the United States, but also other nations as well.
President Biden's words on Taiwan have been forceful, but would you like to see a stronger response from the United States with relations regarding China?
Absolutely, because tensions have really been stepped up in the Taiwan Straits. That's about 100 miles of distance between China mainland and Taiwan, and so there have been multiple intrusions near Taiwan airspace. There's other aspects of really significant saber rattling that we haven't seen for years in and around Taiwan. And so I believe that we have to be on our guard, not only certainly militarily, especially with the 7th Fleet down in Yokosuka, Japan, but also our bomber forces that are positioned outside near in Guam area, but also diplomatically, certainly on guard from an information warfare standpoint, and also that we make sure that we stand very, very strong with our key allies there, being specifically Japan and South Korea.
And you've got the military side of this, but also the economic side. Would you like to see more action from the United States to decrease our reliance on China? I had a guest earlier talking about just the education sector, how far the U.S. is behind China. What more should we be doing in that realm?
Yeah, absolutely, Marni. The economic aspect of this is I think, going to be really key. The fact that we're able to, again, we have to become much less reliant on China, from cell phones all the way to other capabilities that they provide, as well as we need to up our own game in terms of being able to manufacture here in the United States capabilities, certainly in technology and other sciences, so that not only we can provide for ourselves, but we can also provide as an export nation to other friends and allies and trading partners, so they're not reliant on China. China is going after the United States and trying to usurp us as the global superpower in not only military, but economic, but technological, ideological, diplomatic, all those cards are on the table. And as I mentioned earlier, it's breathtaking to me, and we've got to really watch this closely.
And on Russia's invasion of Ukraine, has China been too ambiguous on its stance?
I think they're being ambiguous by design. That's really the last card we played in terms of the what could be happening next in the Ukrainian conflict with Russia. Will or will they not provide arms to Russia? That's an unknown. But if they do, that will be a game changer. However, China also wants to make sure that it is it has leverage over Russia, but also wants to keep the United States bogged down in providing our own weapons, exhaust not only our weapons production, but perhaps our enthusiasm for supporting Ukraine. We've got to continue to stand behind Ukraine and lead the NATO effort and so forth, because how Ukraine-Russia goes will certainly determine next steps. To go back to the Taiwan situation, whether or not China feels emboldened enough, as President Xi has publicly announced that he is preparing his military to invade Taiwan by the year 2027. That will be a bloody, difficult battle, and will be impacting not only in terms of the region, but certainly a global impact economically as well.
Yeah, a daunting thought. Retired Lieutenant General Richard Newton, thank you. Good to see you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.